So for 2.1, the first thing that we want to do is, when we go to prove something, we want to recognize patterns. So let me start by writing some numbers down. So there's a pattern there. All right. I'm going to go from this number to this number. How do I get from 3 to 9?
Multiply by 3.
Or add 6. Which is it?
Multiply by 3.
We think so, right?
Yeah.
Let's assume the wrong thing. Add 6. Now what do I do to go from here to here? What do I add?
6.
You add 18.
You add 18. What do I do from here to here?
24.
No, it's more than 24.
You add 54.
54.
Wait. It's 18 times 30. It's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Now watch this. Now what do we do to go from 6 to 18?
Multiply by 3.
No, we add 12. What do we do to go from 18 to this? We add 36. And what do we do to go from here to here?
You add 24.
We add 24. So when I look at this pattern, adding doesn't do it, right? There isn't really a pattern. But we see a pattern, right? Because I heard somebody blurt out, you just take this previous number and multiply it by 3. If you look, 6 times 3 is 18. 18 times 3 is 54. 12 times 3 is 36. Okay? So sometimes we'll recognize a pattern and we'll think that's the pattern, but it's really not. You guys were right in the very beginning. It's times 3. Times 3. Times 3. So when I look for a pattern, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for something that's consistent every time. So to find the next number, what would I do? I'd say 81 times 3, which is 243. Okay, that would be the next number in the pattern. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, let's do one more example of that since we're recognizing patterns. Let's do this number set, 45, 40, 35, 30. What's the next two terms?
25.
25 and 20, right? Now, what was I doing to get from one term to the next? So, in other words, what did I do to get from here to here?
Subtracted 5.
Subtracted 5. Does that work here?
Yep.
Does it work here?
Yeah.
So we assume that we continue to subtract 5. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, cool. So sometimes when we find a pattern like that, we can make a thing called a conjecture. Okay? So patterns, we can make a conjecture, and it's a conclusion that we draw a thing that we call inductive reasoning. Now, the inductive reasoning is basically that we're going to do the same step over and over and over again. Okay? We're going to use the same step over and over again. So in this particular case, I minus 5 from the previous number, minus 5 from the previous number, minus 5 from the previous number. That's inductive reasoning. Okay? I'm doing the same step over and over and over. Does that make sense?